It's lighter than I thought.
Yeah?
Welcome back to day 8 of the Japan Saga. Today I went on an awesome private tour that I booked through Viator. It's called the Kyoto Early Morning Tour. It's about 5 to 6 hours long, and my friendly English-speaking guide took me through 3 amazing spots: the famous Fushimi Inari Shrine, the stunning Golden Temple Kinkakuji, and the super serene bamboo grove in Arashiyama. And, of course, after the tour was my favorite part, winging it. Honestly, I'm not really one to plan every little detail of my trips. I prefer keeping things spontaneous because you never know when something unexpected and fun might pop up. Anyway, back to today's adventures. I met up with my guide Kota at Kyoto Station bright and early. From there, we hopped onto the subway and headed straight to Inari Station, starting our day at the incredible Fushimi Inari Shrine. Originally, we planned to visit the bamboo forest next and then the Golden Temple, but since it was just me, Kota shuffled things around, and let me tell you, it worked out perfectly. Now, let's talk about the amazing Fushimi Inari Shrine. Sitting at 765 feet above sea level, this shrine dates all the way back to the year 7100, or 711, and it was dedicated to the god fox of rice and agriculture. Fun fact, there are over 30,000 Inari shrines across Japan, but this one right here is the boss, or head shrine. Foxes are super special in Japanese culture. Seen as messengers of the gods, you'll spot statues of foxes everywhere. And if you look closely at the one before the Ichinotori or first torii gate, you'll notice its tail resembles a grain of rice. Exploring the full trail and smaller shrines can take about 2 to 3 hours, and guess what? The trail is open 24/7. Although our tour didn't cover the entire loop, I still got to see plenty, and trust me, I walked a ton anyway. I'll definitely point out some cool stuff that you don't want to miss. Oh, and did you know that the iconic red color of the torii gate symbolizes life and it's believed to keep evil spirits away? Pretty cool, right? At this point, I was still a little confused about some differences between Buddhism and Shintoism, but Kota explained it nicely. Buddhists are monks who live simple, celibate lives, don't eat meat, and stay at temples. Shinto priests, on the other hand, can marry and don't necessarily have to live at the shrines. But, like I'd mentioned on day 3, both religions are deeply intertwined in Japanese culture, so it's common to see some Buddhist elements in Shinto shrines and vice versa. As we got closer to the shrine entrance, we stopped by the Choshuya, or washing station. This is where you cleanse yourself from impurities, since shrines are sacred places. The massive red torii we passed through, it's a symbol of the division between the land of gods and the land of people. Pretty cool, right? At the shrine entrance, you'll notice 2 fox statues. The one on the right holds a ball or jewel, representing a spiritual power, good luck, and blessings from the gods. On the left, the fox holds a key symbolizing a rice granary, indicating an abundant harvest. Rice has always been vital in Japan, even once used as currency. Here's another fun fact. This shrine has exactly 108 fox statues. In Buddhism, 108 represent the number of negative emotions, or kleshas. Chanting to each fox statue symbolizes overcoming these emotions. You'll also see 2 human statues guarding the entrance, called Sadaijin and Udaijin, the ministers of the left and the right. One statue looks older to show he had a higher rank. Little details like these make exploring these places fascinating. Once you cross the main gate called Ramon, look at your right to spot a smaller torii gate that leads to the Asumamaru Shrine, dedicated to Asumamaru Kara, the god of education. Kota explained how seriously education is taken in Japan, from regular school to cram school starting at a young age. He shared his experience of studying for over 12 to 15 hours daily, even during breaks, just to pass his college admission exam. So yeah, school life isn't exactly like what you see in anime. At the Asumamaru Shrine, you'll see a wall covered in wooden tables called ema, along with literally thousands of folded paper cranes. Both offer as prayers for passing exams. The tradition of folding 1,000 paper cranes comes from the touching true story of Sadako Sasaki, a young survivor of the Hiroshima bombing during World War II. Cranes are seen as mystical creatures in Japan, believed to live 1,000 years. Folding a 1,000 crane is considered a powerful act of devotion to ask the god for a wish, whether it's for academic success or a recovery from an illness. Speaking of Emma, these wooden tables are displayed here with wishes and prayers, but are eventually burned at the main shrine. It's believed that the ashes rise to heaven, delivering your prayers directly to the gods. Kota explained that the practice of writing Emma or folding cranes highlights how competitive schools are in Japan. Sometimes you really need some divine assistance. Before moving on, Kota handed me a paper crane he made himself, which I still have. So Kota, if you're watching this, I still treasure it. Moving closer to the main hall of the shrine, you'll notice a brown rope made from rice straw, hanging between columns with zigzag-shaped white paper strips attached. This rope is called the shimenawa, marking the boundary between sacred ground and common areas, helping to keep the shrine pure. Those white paper strips symbolize lightning, believed to destroy evil spirits. Before we continued, we'd stop at the main shrine called Honden to pray. If you've forgotten how to pray at the Shinto shrine, here's a quick reminder. Toss a coin into the offering box. Ring the bell if there is one, bow twice, clap twice, say your prayer, and then bow once more. Traditionally, offerings of 5 or 10 yen coins are popular because the words Goen and E playfully suggest good relationships or good luck, though you're free to offer any amount you feel comfortable with. Continuing our exploration at Fushimi Inari Shrine, just beyond the main altar and before starting the iconic path line with thousands of torii gates, you'll spot an intriguing white horse. This statue ties back to how in Asia, the lunar year calendar is represented by the 12 zodiac animals. Historically, these animals were also used to mark the days. Legend has it that the deity Inari Okami-sama descended to Mount Inari riding a white horse on the first horse day of the second lunar month, usually near the spring equinox. It's a special time in Japan when the weather begins warming up, animals become more active, and plants start blooming. This event sparked the annual Hatsu-Uma celebration, a day dedicated to praying for good harvest. The white horse statue symbolizes the sacred messenger of God of agriculture. In Japanese folklore, white animals represent purity and divine connection, reinforcing their special link to the gods. As we made our way toward the entrance of the 1,000 torii gates, Kota explained that each torii gate is donated by individuals or companies. You'll notice some gates looking newer than others, as they're typically made from cedar or cypress, which have a long lifespan. When a gate begins to deteriorate, it is replaced as long as the donors continue to pay maintenance fees. Check out the backside of the gates. On the left column, you'll find the donor's name, and on the right column, the date of donation. Many prominent Japanese companies have their torii gates here. If you're interested in donating one, you can speak with the priest at the main office. Donations range from about $2,000 to $10,000, depending on the gate size and location. You'll also spot some small wooden plates attached to the columns. This indicates that the space is reserved for new torii gates. One great aspect was how pleasantly uncrowded the path of torii gate was, making our experience even more enjoyable. In case you're curious about any deeper symbolism behind the torii gates at Inari Shrine, Kota shares something fascinating. Torii translates to bird perch, representing an invitation for the gods who are believed to descend in bird form to come down and listen to our prayers. Halfway through the trail, by the Okusha Ohaisho prayer building, we stop at the Omokaru Ishi, or the light or heavy stone. Here's the deal. Make a wish and leave one of the stones placed atop lantern structures. If the stone feels heavier than expected, your wish might be challenging to fulfill. But if it's lighter, your wish is likely to come true. Kota mentioned that many people make selfish wishes to avoid disappointment if the stone is heavy. For me, the stone felt lighter, so knock on wood, or stone. Continuing along the trail, you'll encounter two more fox statues, one holding a scroll representing wisdom and the other, again, holding a ball. We walked through the beautiful Senbon Tori Trail. Passing the Yotsusuji intersection, Kota explained that before the 16th century, Fushimi Inari Shrine didn't have as many Tori gates. As the head shrine, believers began donating Tori gates to show devotion and gratitude for their business's success. Our journey through this sacred, quiet environment eventually led us to Kumakatasha, a shrine dedicated to Kumakata Okami. Nearby, there's a picturesque pond called Shin-ike or Kodamagaike, beautifully reflecting the mountain greenery. An interesting belief here is that if someone gets lost, you can clap your hands in front of the pond and the echo will indicate the direction where the missing person can be found. As we headed back towards our next destination, we saw some standing lanterns known as toro, used during the Ogun festival in August to guide spirits of the deceased back to heaven. Traditionally, lanterns were thought to ward off negative energy lingering in the darkness. Just before leaving, Kota dropped another fascinating fact about the second Tori gate. It was donated by none other than Hideyoshi Toyotomi, Nobunaga's successor. Hideyoshi's mother fell ill, and after praying for her recovery, he expressed his gratitude by donating this special gate. Our next stop is the Golden Temple, so let's keep moving. Now that we're at the entrance of the Golden Temple, you can read a sign with 5 sentences that read Go Gyojin, or the 5 precepts. These concepts are: refrain from killing or harming living creatures, avoid stealing, do not cheat your partner, do not tell lies, and refrain from excessive drinking. You can also see 5 white lines on the wall that indicates the prestige of the temples, with 5 being the most prestigious. This temple was originally the villa for Shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu, and according to his will, it became a Zen temple of the Rinzai sect after his death in 1408. The entrance to the temple is 500 yen. The entrance ticket has the shape of a talisman called a fuda. These amulets are put in houses that you might have seen in anime before. On the top right hand side, it is written Kayun Sho Fuku, which means bringing luck. The left hand side says Akana I Ansen, that means safe household. On the bottom right side of the ticket, it is written Kyoto Kitayama, which is the location, and the left bottom reads Lokuon Senji, which is the original name of the Kinkankuji. You can keep the ticket as a souvenir, but if you don't want it, there are special containers to deposit them, so do not throw them to the garbage. Kota shared an intriguing story about Kinkakuji, also known as the Golden Temple. Before its construction, Shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu accumulated considerable wealth through trade with China. On the very top of the temple, you'll notice a phoenix statue pointing south toward the imperial palace. The phoenix symbolizes authority and was traditionally believed to protect the temple from fire. Ironically, despite this symbolism, the temple burned down twice. First during the Onin Civil War in 1467, and again after World War II in 1950, when it was intentionally set on fire by a 20-year-old monk protesting societal poverty. Surrounding the temple is the serene Kyokochi Pond, or mirror pond, which beautifully reflects the temple's golden facade, making it a perfect spot for photographs. After capturing some stunning images, we continue our journey around the area. Although Kinkakuji is a Buddhist temple, I didn't see any monks around, perhaps due to its popularity as a major tourist attraction. We then stopped by a fascinating spot known as Rikushu Namatsu, on the eastern side of the Kyokochi Pond. Here, Kota introduced me to a bonsai tree that is over 600 years old, originally planted and tended by Shogun Yoshimitsu himself. Kota explained that bonsai isn't just about shaping a tree aesthetically through pruning and training branches. It's about pouring your spirit and soul into the plant, making it a deeply personal and spiritual practice. In Japanese culture, almost any tree can become a bonsai through dedicated care and intention. Moving on from the bonsai garden back to the temple, visitors can enter the temple itself. Not even the Prime Minister or the Emperor is allowed inside today, but there are pictures available showing the interiors. Each floor of the temple showcases a different architectural style. The third floor is built in the style of Chinese Zen hall, completely gilded both inside and out, influenced by Chinese culture. This room emphasizes simplicity and holds a container said to contain Buddha's ashes. The second floor is crafted in the Buke style, typical of samurai residences, and its exterior is entirely covered in gold leaf. Inside, you'll find a seated Kannon Bodhisattva surrounded by statues of the four heavenly kings. This room was intended for the shogun and has fewer windows as it was strategically designed for defense. The first floor uses the Shinden style, common in palace buildings during the Heian period. It contains a statue of the Shaka Buddha and features traditional tatami floors and sliding doors. Interestingly, this floor was meant for the emperor, and notably, it's the only level not covered in gold, symbolizing a subtle disrespect from Yoshimitsu to the emperor by placing his own room above the emperor. In case you're wondering, the gilding's worth is around $1.5 million. Continuing with the tour, we admire small islands scattered across the pond constructed with stones gifted to Shogun Yoshimitsu by other daimyos, further reflecting the shogun's considerable influence and power, at times surpassing even that of the emperor. Next, we pass a small waterfall called Dragon Gate or Yu Monotaki. According to legend, in China and Japan, if a koi fish swims upstream and successfully climbs a waterfall, it transforms into a dragon. The stone in the middle symbolizes a koi fish ascending the waterfall. And yes, in case you're wondering, the Pokemon Gyarados might have been inspired by this story. Further along the trail, we encounter another pond named Anmintaku, or Tranquility Pond. Historically, the land where Kinkakuji now stands belonged to the Saionji family, who worshipped the god of wealth. This god's messenger was depicted as a white snake, and at the pond center you will find Hakuja no Tsuka, or the white snake's mound, with a pagoda dedicated to this sacred messenger. With that, our next stop was Arashiyama, famous for its stunning bamboo forest. This beautiful area has been a beloved destination since the Heian period, where nobles would visit to take a break from their official duties. The type of bamboo found in here is known as madake, which means pure bamboo. It's incredibly strong, sometimes used in construction and furniture, and can grow up to 65 feet tall. To protect this national treasure, only trained professionals are permitted to maintain and cut the bamboo before it starts to rot. The main bamboo trail is roughly 500 meters long. If you're looking to avoid crowds, the best time to visit is early in the morning. There is also a temple a bit far with a stunning bamboo walkway, which I'll show you shortly. We ended our official tour at the iconic Togetsukyo Bridge, spanning the Katsura River. Togetsukyo means crossing moon, and traditionally, children crossing this bridge symbolize their transition into adulthood. According to an old proverb, looking back while crossing the bridge would lead to forgetting one's past, bringing misfortune. Besides its cultural significance, the bridge is celebrated for its gorgeous seasonal scenery in spring, summer, and autumn. After parting ways with Kota, I headed to Adashino Nenbutsuji Temple, about a 20 to 30 minute walk away, recommended by Kota. This temple features another beautiful staircase surrounded by bamboo. More strikingly, it's home to around 8,000 stone statues of Buddha and pagodas commemorating souls without families or those who passed away without proper care. Every year on the last Saturday and Sunday of August, the Sentokuyo ceremony takes place here. During this event, thousands of candles illuminate these stone memorials, creating an unforgettable scene while attendees pray for the departed spirits. I finished my day by going to the Kiyomizudera temple, or Pure Water Temple. This temple was one of the finalists to be considered as one of the 7 wonders of the world, and is located by Mount Otowa. Dedicated to Kannon, a deity of great mercy and compassion, the temple is also known as Kannon Reigyo, Reigyo meaning holy place. It is said that offering a prayer of thanksgiving to Kannon is expressing feelings of gratitude for coming into this world, having tranquil daily lives, and being grateful for your loved ones, friends, and acquaintances who are always there beside you. You can see here the main entrance called Nyomon. This magnificent gate measures approximately 10 meters wide, 5 meters long, and 14 meters high. From there, you can see the west gate called Saimon. This gate has long been considered a gateway to paradise and is known as a sacred place for Nisokan, one of the meditation practices for achieving nirvana. After the Saimon, and before walking to the main hall, you can already admire the city of Kyoto. You then can walk towards the main hall of the temple called Hondo. At the main hall, you can get various talismans, incense, emas, and omikuji or paper fortunes. The main hall was built on a steep cliff using a traditional Japanese method of construction. The assembled pillars and rails work like scaffolding and support the structure so firmly that it is highly earthquake resistant even on its steep slope. Overhanging the hall is an imposing veranda called Kiyomizu stage. It stands nearly 13 meters high, almost equal to a 4-story building. The stage is supported by 18 pillars made from 400-odd-year-old Selkova trees, the largest of which is approximately 12 meters high and 2 meters in girth. These pillars are joined with a number of rails which penetrate through each pillar and form joints to strengthen the overall structure without using a single nail. The present stage was reconstructed in 1633. Withstanding hundreds of disasters over the years, this traditional wooden structure continues to support the stage. From the main hall, you will see the Okuno Inn Hall, that also offers an amazing view of the main hall and the rest of the city of Kyoto. I finished my walk through the Kiyomizudera at the Otowa waterfall, but it was pretty dark, so I stopped recording. And that was all for today. Thanks for watching and joining me through these amazing places in Kyoto. Join me next week for the last day in Kyoto. And the Beer From Mexican, keep watching anime. Jane!